This is Josephine,
Esisa, yes.
who owns, manages, and runs a digital marketing company called Digimark, and happens to be, what are you? The producer, the facilitator, the enabler of What the Theory?
The editor.
Yes, the editor of What the Theory. So thank you so much for
You're welcome.
showing up. I like the colors. I think it's not a political statement.
There's both yellow and red, so what does that mean?
Yeah, but you might be saying that let's come together.
No.
No.
I don't know.
Let's fall apart. That's what you're saying. All right. The reason I asked you to come on today is I'm doing a series on two things: media, mass media, and corporatism, corporations, right? And you run a corporation that is in media. So maybe you can give us a bit of why you started Digimark.
I wanted money.
Okay, but why did you decide to start? Okay, you started.
I did study mass communication. So it's not like...
It's always what you wanted to do?
I don't know. Is that a thing?
How did you end up in mass comm?
Okay, yes, it's always what I wanted to do. I thought it was cool. I always thought I wanted to be a journalist. I thought I would see news anchors and think, oh, that's so cool.
Like Christian Amanpour?
Yeah. Like, I honestly thought their work was so
Francis.
Cool. Then I went to school.
Okay.
Actually, my dad wanted me to study law.
Your dad, the doctor, wanted you to study law?
Obviously, medicine first, but then I went into the arts. And then he's like, okay, let's, do law. He doesn't know this, so he'll probably see it today, but I decided to apply for only one course.
Oh, you put all your eggs in one basket?
Yes. And then when, I got mass communication, I told them, oh, I got mass communication.
So what did you do in mass comm? I know they're different.
Yeah, I majored in PR. Okay, I went with the intention of majoring in broadcast because I wanted to be a journalist. And then I reached there and I saw that it involved carrying cameras and all those things. When you're studying, and of course when you...
So you gave the work to Alan, who's behind the camera here.
I realized, the hard life is not for me.
You were a soft life ambassador back in the day.
Without knowing. So I'm like, the hard life is not for me, so I switched to PR.
Okay. So what's PR?
I make things look nice. That's the best way I can say it.
Okay.
Public relations. Make things look nice in the media.
Okay. So you went into public relations. We did an episode some time back. I think it was a discussion on the effect of marketing and the effect of, I think we're borrowing from that documentary Century of the Self that talks about how when you're being marketed to, they are spinning a narrative. They're trying to, sort of get you to believe a certain set of things. Is that what PR is in your mind, or you feel like that's an unfair characterization?
You see, it would be, if I say that it's an unfair characterization, I will be lying, and I'm supposed to tell the truth. That's what it is, in all honesty.
Wait, so hold on. So is PR the truth? Is it a lie, or it can't fall into either category?
It's the truth with spin.
What is spin?
That's what it is. With spin, with a little spin. Like, we're not going to give you the whole truth. We're not going to give you the whole story.
We'll frame
it. We'll frame what's actually happening to be more appealing to you.
Okay. So, what do you think the state of PR is in? Okay, let's start with the companies that Digimark deals with. What does Digimark focus on? What kind of clients?
Anyway, we focus on the nice clients.
No, okay. I wanted to trap you. I'm like, we need to spin things.
Focus on the nice clients like you, anyway. But we mainly focus on social impact companies. And we try to make them, but we tell their stories in a more truthful and appealing manner. That's why when I started the agency, we decided let's not be like everyone else who is into commercial. Because, you know what commercial is. You're going to open your iPhone box and you're like, oh my God, it's the best thing that has ever happened. And then you realize but I don't really need this. You get. So we took our agency to a whole different outlook. Like, let's do that. Let's actually tell the real stories, what's actually happening. So we focus on social impact and try to push out those stories in a very appealing manner.
So what's the aim? A social impact company is trying. I assume they're not trying to get customers. They're trying to educate an audience.
They're trying to educate, create awareness, make change, behavior change, communications, that kind of thing. So for them, they are in a space where they want you to do better. And I also like to do better for myself. So I feel I thrive in that area.
So do you count yourselves as a social impact organization? Because you're doing it for...
Not really, because now we're making money. Because you see, we're charging them.
What's the difference?
We're charging them for money, but yeah.
That's like saying a nurse making money is not having impact.
Stop trapping me.
No, and I'm not trying to trap. I'm trying to understand why money feels dirty.
Because of the end goal, maybe. Like, you're going to see how much you have to do, and then you're going to cost it, but then again, you're going to look at how much you're taking from someone's budget.
Yeah. And
even though we're saying, yes, it's very important, you need this, and also it's going to look good for you, for investors, sometimes you're like, but this is, yeah.
Okay. So,
but also you need the money to tell the story. So
what's the hardest part of your job? What's the hardest part all right, you framed it as there's this organization that wants to do something. They probably are not good at communicating what they want, or they want to do it better, so they come to you. So what's the hardest part? Is it on crafting the message? Is it convincing them to take the way you're saying it? Is it finding outlet?
Everything.
Everything is the hardest.
Because each client is different.
Okay.
There's one who you have no idea of where you're going to start from when they send you a brief.
Yeah.
You don't know where you're going to start from, crafting their message, breaking it down. Then when you go ahead and break it down, they're like, but this is not what we want. This is not what we're saying. And even though you already have the vision and you're already seeing how it's going to, someone is going to tell you, no, I mean, they've had this work plan or their company profile for the longest time. And when you try to switch it up, someone is like, no, that's not, you're changing our message. You are, you're not understanding.
Going off brand.
Yeah, you're going off brand. They're not ready to make the change, is what I would say. Then there's also another client who just doesn't think PR, marketing, communication is necessary. But they're going to tell you, oh, we need a video to send to our investors. But then when you tell them, yeah, when you bring your equipment, you need a drone for this, you need what, they're like, this is very expensive. Find a way of telling this story without, I need everything without that amount of money.
Without
so it's
expenses.
Yeah, everything.
Okay. So I'm curious. That means you're, how can I say, you're usually the one pushing the boundary of what the company might be thinking is appropriate.
You have to have a strong hand.
So how do you know what's going to work? Like, you just go for your instinct, or you like do a research and then go, this is where people's minds are, so we need to get you to.
It's a lot of research.
Okay.
Before even I take you on as a company, I have to research you, your competitors, your target audience, literally everything, what they are saying online, what they think. I'll have a random conversation with a friend. Oh, what do you think about this? Would you do something like this? Would you, just to see what someone is, where they're at, and then you get into what they're actually doing. But then, of course, at the end of the day, someone will be like, but you don't understand. Even I personally, when someone comes into my business and tells me you're not doing something right, I feel a certain type of way.
Who are you?
Like, who do you think you are? I mean, I've been doing this for 6 years. I know what I'm doing. So what do you think? Like, I'm the one who knows the inside. But I also got to learn that I need to put myself in that person's shoes and like try and understand where they would be coming from, being very protective with their image, their story, what they think, and then try and it's more of like trying to read their mind. So now I have this ability of where I can tell what a client is going to say as soon as I send the email. So, or even when or when we create like an artwork or an artboard or whatever, I'm like, they're not going to like that. Just change this and this and this. Sometimes you'll find someone being big-headed and they're like, no, send, and let's see what happens. And they'll come back and tell you, yeah, what I said earlier is what...
As expected.
Yes, as expected. So you get to learn to understand people more in my business, which is weird.
Okay. So maybe just a few more questions from me. One, you have your own foundation.
Yes, I have my own foundation.
Would you like to tell us about the foundation and why you started it and how maybe your skills have lent themselves towards that?
I have a foundation called Rare Mark Foundation. It's a sickle cell awareness foundation right now.
Oh.
Right now.
It's going to evolve?
Yes.
Okay.
The goal is something bigger than just creating awareness. So I created it obviously because I have sickle cell disease and I felt that I could do better in that space. I have been in the hospitals and I've seen, treatment on sickle cell, one, is not great. Two, the awareness around people. I mean, did you know Immanuel had sickle cell before me?
One person.
What did you know about it?
I just knew that occasionally he would get like really bad episodes.
Did you understand it?
No, I only understood it in terms of the biological causes, but what I didn't, it's only when he told me at some point that he had outlived the expectations of his family. Like his family didn't think he was going to live beyond
even
the
his
age
doctors,
of 10,
I'm sure.
Right? Yeah. So for him, his life seemed like a miracle. Like I used to wonder why he was like, "Ooh, it's a great day," and I used to like, well, "Why, man? You're having a terrible time."
But I'm alive.
Unfortunately, I think at that time I just couldn't
grasp. But even in school, what you learned from it was very surface level. So yes, I got to realize, I mean, I think in all my friend groups, I'm the only one who has sickle cell. I've just started making friends who have sickle cell. Growing up, the only other person I knew who had sickle cell was my brother. And yes, we would disappear, fall sick, people like, oh, I got sick, and it's just that. Yeah. And I think I always had the inclination to do something about it, because even when I was in VAC, I always tried to work with, like, say, the sickle cell clinic in Mulago, like to make a change, to like help, until when I started Digimark, I realized, oh wait, I have this whole platform that I can use. I now have access. I have a team that I can actually use to start telling stories about sickle cell. So then we started with a Twitter page where we just create awareness. Then I'm like, but we can do more. Then we went into creating a support group for sickle cell warriors, because again, I didn't know anyone else who had sickle cell aside from my brother. I would get support from him, he gets support from me. So what happens to the person who doesn't have a sibling or a friend or even family that really doesn't understand what's going on? You need people who get you. Yeah. And much as your circle will try to get you, they will not get you. There's nothing I can say, and you
What's the hardest?
You will understand.
All right. What do you think, like, we don't fully understand that we think we understand? Right? Like, I know there are many things we don't.
That I live in fear, and I'm anxious every single day.
Anxious? Like now? Like right now you're anxious?
Yeah.
Oh. They move the skull. Okay. Go ahead.
No, every single day. Even today morning, when it started raining at 3 a.m., I was like, shit, I'm going to have to tell Joel I can't do this today. Then when I went to get the tea, the cold entered my body, and then I had like a little pain. And I'm like, okay, here we go. It's happening.
So now even when you're looking outside,
I'm looking outside and I'm like,
yeah.
am I going to do today, given the number of things I'm supposed
Yeah.
to do? Like, I'm living with anxiety every single moment of my life. So it's, and I feel, yeah, maybe you get it, but I don't think you do.
No.
I don't think you do. Even in my sleep, I don't have the peace.
I think, well, I mean, I learned from you and from the podcast and the show. The bit about how it's a chronic thing. Like, I think for me, I know what it's like to be sick.
Yeah.
And when you're sick, it's like your body is just failing you, and you start taking your body for granted.
Yeah.
So you've been taking your body for granted, and now you feel like I want to get healthy again. And those first few moments or first few days after you've been sick and you're okay, you're like, I'll never take this for granted. And then you let it go.
Yeah.
So I would imagine for you, like, you don't have that idea of like, okay, the sickness is now done. You know that,
No.
there's going to be another episode, or there's going to be pain.
No,
or I'm
you
going
know
to
what's
keep living with
funny is that when we get a crisis and then we get a bit better, we're like, that's not true.
this. Oh.
Yeah, like I know tomorrow.
You're like,
Like my body.
I want to trust
my
this
body
relief.
is playing. Like,
So I'm curious, like you're saying that this may seem like a very abstract thing, but the next show we're going to do the next series is going to be about the mind and the body. And I feel like even in our language, we separate ourselves from our bodies.
yeah.
Like, it's a weird sentence for me to go, me and my body. Like,
Yeah.
so like you're separate from your body, and there's almost like a disgust that we have with our bodies in some senses, and then other times we're like, the body's a temple, all of that stuff. So do you feel anger with your body? Like, what's your relationship with your...
It's a love-hate relationship, rather.
Started with the hate love.
Yes, hate first, because...
Okay.
No, honestly, hate first, because I feel failed several times when I'm tired, when I'm... Like, there is no... I think the other day I was... You know how we ladies, we're always switching bags?
I said like I know, like as if I know. I don't know.
However, you don't know.
I just see different bags.
I just see with different bags every day.
Leave me alone,
Anyway, however tiny my bag is,
Yeah.
I'm going to quote my friend. My friend told me recently, why do you carry a big bag? And I'm like, no, I have a bunch of things I need to carry. I have my hand lotion, my perfume,
Your gun.
my wallet. Yeah, my gun.
She's carrying.
my wallet. Then I also have a laptop, and then she's like, why don't you have? Then I need my charger. Yeah, I know deep down my medicine is like the first thing, but I'm not putting it out there. So then I'm like, let me try this small bag thing. Yeah. So I try, and I'm actually doing it. But the first thing I always put in my bag is
The med.
painkiller, which there are like 3 different types. Then a muscle relaxant, because I don't know what I'm going to feel like. Then now, because of the painkillers, I need to have something for my stomach, like say omeprazole. What?
Yes.
Because the painkillers affect me, so there is that. And I was packing my bag, and I'm like, this is such a sad life. What do you mean?
It's an extra burden that
Like,
you
what
don't
do you
see
mean?
other people carrying.
What do you mean I have to move everywhere with medicine?
Yeah.
Like, this is pathetic.
Yeah.
Then I went on. After that, I just went on and did everything else, and then moved on.
Okay. I also have a family member who's in chronic illness.
Yeah.
And the way she talks about it, there's a time she was in hospital, we went to see her, and she said something which sort of alluded to the fact that there was also pressure on her to get better or to be better.
Yeah.
When she was, because it would be like 3-4 days of her not doing well, then families kind of exasperate and saying, how are you doing today? And she would just say, yeah, I'm better. But deep inside, she's not much better, because she feels like, I need to like give these guys some kind of relief.
Yeah.
You've done that before?
Every time.
So every time we've asked you if you're feeling better and you do this, you're like, I'm dying, but that's very lonely. That's terrible. So do you want people to keep pushing, or you feel like I don't, like with me, there's a certain point when I'm not well, that you trying to help me is also now adding to my stress. Like, what can I do for you? I'm like, can you just...
Exactly. But I feel like, and I said this yesterday, I didn't know this until yesterday, but I feel like I'm bad vibes.
How can you be bad vibes?
Right? I'm like, I mean, look at me. But I feel like I'm bad vibes because I always have problems. You see that?
Oh. But you don't complain.
Exactly, because I try not to complain.
Okay. But if we were to ask you, how are you?
Do you
feel
really
like
want
going
to
to
know
be
the
problems?
truth?
Yeah, all the time.
No, honestly. If you were to ask me, how are you? And I'm like, oh, today I just feel really exhausted. And I don't know what to do about it. Or I woke up with pain this morning, but I'm going to work. I'll just push through. Or I've been with pain all week. If I tell you that every single day, you'll be like, "Nay, this chick."
You, when are you okay?
When are you? When are you?
Can't you just shake it off?
Like, can't you?
We are all in pain.
And then it's going to be, what can I do about it?
Yeah.
And you literally cannot do anything about it. So, yeah, then I'm like, no, nothing. I'm already taking my painkillers. I'm already taking care of myself. But then also I feel some type of way when I tell you, okay, what can you do about it? And then maybe sometimes I feel like there's something that can be done, but I can't ask for it because I know you have your own life.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, Bambi.
No, I'm taking it as I have to Bambi you. What do you mean? I have the right to say Bambi, don't I?
I take it away from you.
It can land here in the middle, but yeah, I can give it. So is that why you decided to start your own business? I would imagine that there are some advantages to you being your own boss, but there must be some disadvantages. So is that why you decided? Is it primarily
the main reason?
So how did you manage to build a business? Other people out there with no maids and they are struggling.
Should I be like, I got my...
Tell us.
The real truth.
You tell us the real truth. You tell us the sponsor.
My dad is like, Jeff Bezos or something like that. Anyway, jokes.
He didn't have hair? What are you saying?
Anyway, I support from my family was one of the biggest things. I mean, I think our first capital came from my family. I also have a friend who was very willing to start the business with me. So yes, that's how I think we've managed.
So in the support group with the other sickle cell warriors, when it comes to work and employment, I would think that's a very difficult thing to navigate, especially because having been in especially Ugandan workplaces, not a lot of them are quite lenient and understanding that this person has this illness and we work around it. So
I mean, the whole reason as to why I started the business is because someone was not lenient or understanding of the fact that I felt sick at the wrong time. I felt sick when the business needed me. They needed what I could do. And she was like, this is not the day to fall sick, so please.
Wow.
I mean, it happens. Yeah. So the thing about sickle cell warriors is that they are also very creative and very innovative. So most of them are doing their own thing. There's one who is, I think he's a designer. We have different people. But recently I've been seeing people in the medical field, joining our support group. And I'm like, amazing. How do you stand for that long?
Yeah.
How do you stand for that long? How did you get there? But then, even my brother, before he got really ill, he was in engineering, and my mom was like, why are you doing that? Why would you do that course? Go and... But, I mean...
Go and do what? What are you about to abuse people in Swassa?
No, something...
Social workers.
Something that involves less strain.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay, so does that affect how you, or does it influence how you manage people? Because now you are a boss.
Yes, definitely.
So you think you're a good boss? Answer that question carefully, because...
Yes and no.
Okay, explain.
Yes, because I feel I'm very understanding and patient with people. I understand that people have things going on outside work, like not everything is about my business. So I get that part. And the no part is, I think it's a me problem. I feel like I'm not doing enough. So...
How do you... What? So you're saying you're not a good boss because you don't feel like you're doing enough?
I feel like I'm not, like I'm probably not present enough for my employees
Alan,
to get that leadership that they need.
Alan, is that correct or not correct? You yell from off camera.
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth. Is she?
Tell the truth.
She a good
Am I
boss?
a good boss?
She's a good boss, and that's both her strength and her weaknesses. Too good.
She's too good. Okay.
Alan just wants salary.
Too lenient.
Salary week is coming.
There you go. Yeah.
Salary.
Mama, play the game.
Salary week is coming.
So, in the context, we've discussed a few things, but probably where I want to close off is I've been doing this series around really the structure of work and the structure of modes of production. And maybe to give my experience, before I was in charge or responsible for people, there's a certain way I looked at people who are in the managerial section, and I was like, these doofuses. Or these guys treat us. I just feel like I was being treated like a typewriter.
Yeah.
Like if you're not you're only good if you're functioning
Yes.
well. So I still don't like the whole idea of workplace is like a family, that we have to be in each other. I feel like it blurs the lines. Other people need it so that they can be able to be productive. So I see the usefulness of camaraderie. I just don't like required participation or required fun.
Yeah.
But now I'm in a position where, because I don't like doing that stuff, some of it is lacking. So the employees go, hey, why don't we get like, why aren't we doing an away day? Or why aren't we doing like an offsite and team building and all these kinds of things? And I feel a bit weirded out by it. So I'm wondering if you ever have that conflict between how you see yourself as an individual and how you have to operate as a boss. Do you have those clashes where...
Definitely. Most of the time. Because now sometimes you have to choose between being lenient, like Alan says I'm lenient, and being tough. Can you imagine me tough?
Yes, I can. I've seen you being tough.
Oh my God. Yeah, I don't like it. I feel weird after. Like, did I have to? Like, did I really have to?
But I think it's also because you're
have
friends.
a strong yeah.
You're friends with the people that you work with.
Not all of them.
Have you
No, that was not supposed to come out like that.
No, of course not. Not all of them. There's a select group of people here who are my friends, and then there are others. Got you. This is going to be the trailer. You've said that in your workplace you have some people who
That
are friends.
was not supposed to come
But
out
are you
like
wrong? Am I wrong? Is that the... Anyway, go ahead. So you have some people who are
This is
your
why I
friends.
want to do this thing. Because now I forget I'm talking. I'm on camera.
She gave
because I'm
consent.
with you. Anyway, yeah, not all of them.
Okay.
Because, yeah, there's some sort of... There's a barrier, there's a boundary, there's that. My business partner is my friend. So there's going to be, clashing there in terms of views, in terms of how we see things. But I have to keep on reminding myself like, business and friendship are two different things. In the office, there's one whole thing. And then also with my employees, yes, I'm friendly. I am friendly and nice.
You seem to be pausing.
I'm thinking, I'm
Okay.
trying to think. When they listen, watch this, what will they say? Yeah, so.
Hogwash.
But I also know I have to, like, there are people who I know, I can see their potential.
Yeah.
And to be able to unlock that potential, I need to be a bit tougher. I can't use that, I can see where you're going to go with this. I can't use that friendly torn, not even torn, but aspect of me.
Yeah.
So it has to come from Josey, the boss. That office, they call me Josey, so I feel like, okay, it's weird. They don't call me Josephine.
Who calls you Josephine? All right, this is the last question. So, like you've said, you are friendly, maybe you're lenient, you have friends who work for you.
Yeah.
Now, do you ever envision yourself ever firing a friend of yours? Or will their friendship, because at some point you'll be like, this is my friend and they need to work.
I've never envisioned it, but there are times Alan has done things and I question it.
Like what? What does he? He steals like pencils from.
No, he doesn't steal pencils. But there are times where like...
But do you think because he's your friend, we're talking about him like he's not in the room.
Yeah.
Do you think because that guy is your friend, he gets away with more murder?
Sometimes.
So you have to be a bad businesswoman to be a good friend.
I'm not.
But sometimes it reinforces
okay,
business.
I actually even have to say this on camera because Alan needs to see this. Yes, sometimes I'm a very, very bad businesswoman because he's my friend.
But ultimately, do you think being
And
a
then
good friend also adds
ultimately,
to?
I'm like, I'm a good boss because he's my friend.
So you're saying the definition of being a good boss is being friendly, yet being a friend is an issue.
Yes.
Yeah.
It
So I think
is.
there's some contradiction you have to live with when you're a leader.
You go against your principles. That's the truth.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, one, my health is the biggest factor for me. But I'm not going to lie to you that when someone has fallen sick at the wrong time, I have felt some type of...
You also like,
now I have to look for a solution.
does it make you appreciate your former boss?
No.
The position she was in?
No. It doesn't make me appreciate her because she pushed me to have to leave. Now for me, it made me come up with different ways in which to handle that situation. I appreciate that I was put in that position because it made me think outside the box. Made me think that things can actually happen without someone actually being there.
Yeah.
Or that things can go wrong, but tomorrow it will be better. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. What's your final message for the masses?
I don't know.
We've talked about, okay, let me summarize. We've talked about three things. We've talked about your work in the media and how you lie. What? You don't lie. You what? Truth with the spin.
Yeah.
And then we've talked about you dealing with chronic illness and how you've been able to manage that. And then also your work life and balancing that out with friendship.
How can my last message be? Work-life balance is very important. Let me just...
You have work-life balance?
I thought that was my last message. Now we're asking another question. Yes, I do have a very good work-life balance. Don't you think so?
How have you achieved it? I don't know.
I choose.
Okay.
I recently started leaving my laptop at work.
Is that good work ethic?
No, but I need a work-life balance.
Okay. So if you're...
When I go home with my laptop, I'm inclined to do work. So,
please give us a short sentence of how people can achieve work-life balance.
Choose. Before the company you're working for is not going to wait for you. Or when you die, they'll replace you tomorrow. Even when I die, my company will go on without me. I've fallen sick and these guys like, oh, hi, Josey. They check on me on day one, by the way. And then move on. They keep on working. So that's how I know they can function without me. So if they can function without the boss, please. You who is an employee, Joe, who is an employee, they can function without you.
Thank you for that heartwarming message that things can function without us. I appreciate you coming on the theory. The lovely
subscribe,
Josey.
because the more followers it gets, the more I get paid.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
follow me so that you can
So that you can find my
boost her
lifestyle.
lifestyle. Yeah.
Thank you.